Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Brew, where we tell the stories behind your favorite beer. This is Sound Guy Ryan, and joining me as always is Erica and Matt.
Yeah! It's still raining, and we're still in Connecticut.
We're stuck here.
We're stuck here forever.
It's not the worst place.
I have enjoyed our time in Connecticut.
It's been great beer here.
I don't want to say like our time, like I've done like hard time in prison. No, like
hard time here in Connecticut.
We had amazing beer at the locations. Those episodes have either been released or will be released in the future.
Yeah, so stay tuned.
So stay tuned.
Go back and take a little listen.
Yeah, take a little listen.
A little listen.
Yeah. We're all like hyped up because we just got some coffee down the road. Yeah, that coffee roaster. Oh my God, that coffee is good.
Fantastic.
I unfortunately ruin all coffee with too much sugar and too much cream.
Yep.
But you had it black.
I drink it straight black.
Straight
Just
black.
Straight.
Delicious. Brian, how do you drink your coffee?
I don't drink coffee.
How did you drink your coffee in a past
You
life?
did cream and sugar, didn't you?
I did regular, yeah.
Regular.
Well, actually,
regular. Yeah. Four sugar, four cream.
For years, I would do regular, but then I just did cream only.
Yeah.
Cool.
Joe, what about you? How do you drink your
cream only?
Cream only. No sugar?
Oh,
No sugar.
right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try that once.
You should try one.
Yeah, you taste the coffee.
There's a little sugar in the cream, too. I mean, the cream is like sweet, isn't it?
Yeah, I have such a sweet tooth. Is the problem.
You are a problem.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Erica, where are we today?
We are at Epicure
Which
Brewing. It is brewing.
Which I found out means
What is
like an admiration of fine dining and drink.
Oh.
Which I have in all aspects of life.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I appreciate that name. Just like I had to know what it meant before I went in. I didn't want to steal your thunder. I'm so sorry.
Oh, nope, that's quite all right.
Yeah.
We assume that's what it's about.
We usually say it means the finer things in life with wine and food. Why not beer?
Why not beer? Oh, I like that. Why not beer?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Gotcha. I like it.
Yeah.
Peasant drink.
Shut up. It's the best. It's the best. What have you been drinking recently?
Price is Rice. So this is our collaboration beer with Black Pond up in Danielson. It's very light, perfect for summer or any day drinking, to tell you the truth.
Agreed. We love lagers, especially a rice lager. I love a good rice lager.
Yeah. As soon as rice lagers kind of came onto the scene a couple of years ago, I was just like, whoa, sign me up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's been lagers, just getting rid of that Oktoberfest kind of feel.
We do have an Oktoberfest.
You laugh.
I know. I'm like, we do have one. Well, every brewery usually does.
Yeah.
No, I love it.
Definitely.
It's just
we
like,
love Oktoberfest, but it's the end of the season.
Yeah.
We're moving on.
To the worst season. We're not getting
We've
into that
talked about
again.
this a lot today. We're done.
Yeah, we're getting in.
this.
So, Joe, we start all of our episodes by asking our guests their first memory of beer and their role at the brewery.
So my first memory of beer, oh my God. Very young. College days, obviously, and it was horrible beer. I think it was the Red Dog.
Okay, yeah. Oh my God. That's a throwback. Yeah.
Yeah. That is my first memory of beer. It got better.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I have been looking like on eBay to see like a Red Dog neon sign because like that I have a vivid memory of my like.
And they had the sayings under the cap.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. So I have a formative memory of Red Dog beer. I don't think I never grew up around it. I don't even think I've ever tried it. I just want that stupid neon sign.
Want the sign.
Want the sign.
So if we have any listeners out there who has one, I will.
Just give us a little.
I have a Utopus that I can trade for something really rare. Yeah.
Red Dog.
Yeah.
And my job actually is I am the president and I do all the finance end of the brewery. So dealing with the bills, the payroll, employees,
the fun stuff. Yeah. Well, that's good because oftentimes we talk to brewers, we talk to social media people. So it's cool to hear. I hate to say like the less attractive side of brewing, right? Like
say it is the less attractive side.
No,
but every brewery needs that.
Yeah, and
right?
you know what? This brewery is lucky enough to have that person. I look at that because I think there's a lot of operations that would benefit greatly from that, and they don't even realize it. And that's not to say that if you can't afford it right now, like that's a problem. It's just you're doing the best you can, right? Like how many brewers out there are running social media, running finance, running the brew house operation, and then running front of house? It's like.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I
tip my hat to all of them. Seriously, I can never do it. So
yeah, when they do it all, I'm glad we have partners. It kind of gets distinguished between all of us.
No kidding.
For sure.
So we were mentioning off air, you are an accountant by day.
Yes.
And I guess a president by day and night.
I was like, it never ends.
So when do you sleep?
Yeah, I get some sleep.
Yeah.
Here and there.
I always find it interesting with people who run a business and then they also work their quote unquote day job, right? Where do you get time for you? I struggle with the same thing, so that's why I'm asking. I mean, I run the podcast. You guys run the podcast. It's a struggle to go to the gym.
But I think I get up 5:30.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hit the gym end of things, and then I start my day at night. I do the books for here.
Yep.
I have a little bit flexibility because I do own my other business, so I'm my own boss, so I can kind of make those.
So you can yell at
Schedule
yourself for
thing.
doing
I
other
can-
work. Yeah.
Exactly. And then we have great employees, so I'm not in the tap room having to work the actual shifts. We do now, one of us owners are on every Saturday, so you'll see one of us in here just hanging out, and if she does need help, then we get behind the bar and we'll serve beers, but otherwise we're just here to hang out. That was one of the things that our muggers mentioned to us.
Your muggers, are you okay?
Yeah, they call themselves
Yeah.
and they take it very serious. They are the muggers. They actually said they enjoyed during COVID that us owners were back in the
that's cool.
brewery.
Yeah.
And they could see us and chat with us
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So we made it a point to keep us in here.
Yeah.
At least one day a week, you'll see one of us here
That's
hanging
nice.
out. And they've enjoyed it. Our muggers, yes, they do call themselves muggers. They are phenomenal. They were awesome through COVID. They'd come down here. As soon as we could actually open, if we had a food truck, they would be here.
Yeah.
Hanging out and getting their beer.
That's awesome.
It's awesome to kind of see the community
Yes.
rally around that.
And they'd be buying takeout all the time too.
Yeah.
So they're huge supporters. Which,
Yeah. Epicure, how long have you been around?
4 years.
4 years.
Nice.
Owning your own business, and then there's 4 other business partners, including
Yes.
yourself.
Yes.
Who was like the crazy one that was like, I want to open a business. I want to open a brewery.
My husband and Jay.
Okay, and Jenny. Yeah, and Jenny is
Jenny's one of the shareholders.
cool.
Yep.
And did that come out of like a love for home brewing or just like a love for the industry
For beer.
for beer?
Yep.
Yes. Ken, our brewer, he actually was the home brewer and enjoyed it. We used to go to his pig roasts. He would have his beer on tap.
Nice.
When my husband was working with Jay on creating the business plan, he said, Ken's got to be our brewer.
Cool.
So that's where that all came about.
So kind of like a home brewer's dream, right? Ken was like,
Yes.
do you know what Ken was doing before being a full-time brewer?
He worked at CSC, a computer corporation.
Oh my gosh. So like really
Yeah.
like a full-time, like that's really cool. I just find that
Really
like
different.
kind of why we started the podcast was the person, the home brewer that was like, I could make that jump too. Do you know what I'm saying? So keep on home brewing and have pig roasts and you could be a brewer too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Where did you come along into the shareholder?
So my husband, Rob, was him and Jay are the
Yeah.
ones that came up with it. So obviously I became
You're
involved
there.
with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed going out. We enjoyed going to the different breweries
Yeah.
and not just here in the U.S.,
Overseas, yeah.
overseas, and just the pub feel. And that's kind of what we wanted to bring over here to the United States. So here you'll notice we don't have TVs. This TV does not actually play any sports or anything.
Just menu.
It's just menu,
Yeah.
and it's to make people talk.
Yeah.
Instead of being on your phones, actually socializing and talking with people.
Yep.
When you're in an Irish pub, you'll see that. There's everybody's chatting with everybody else. It's friendly. And we've now seen it here where there's been people sitting at the bar talking and they realize they're neighbors.
Right.
Oh, shit.
Like
Yeah,
their
yeah.
houses down from each other and they've never,
Never
talked to
talked,
each
yeah.
other. So it makes, we feel that's a great thing to bring to
Yeah.
this area.
Love them as a drinking partner, but a neighbor, they're shit. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, like,
They might end
yeah,
up
yeah,
that way.
yeah, yeah.
I stepped away.
Yeah.
Introducing them. So we brought those kind of things, and then to support local.
Yeah.
So our big thing was we were not going to do food
Yep.
because we wanted to support the local restaurants in downtown.
Yep.
There's fabulous food down here. There's Indian.
I know we walked past
We
an
walked
Indian
by
joint
quite
and
a few
all we could
places
smell was
and-
like, it smelled so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Irish
places.
food, you got Italian food, you have it all right
Yeah.
here in walking distance to our place. So we wanted to support them.
I don't know anything about
Good.
Norwich. Tell our listeners and me all about the area.
So NFA is a big high school down here, which people, Trillium. She actually
Yep.
went there.
Oh,
So she
okay.
has some Norwich roots. we also have the food. Like I was saying, the food is phenomenal. You're close to the casinos. Mohegan and Foxwoods are a 10-minute ride from here.
Oh, wow. Real close.
Very close.
You hear that, Ryan? Maybe we'll strike it big tonight.
You have the marina down a couple blocks that way. And like I said, the food is amazing here.
Plus, you have a great coffee roaster.
You got the coffee roaster. And it's in the center of between, Willimantic and New London.
Yeah. So we kind of got excited about interviewing you because when we went to the coffee roaster and before this, he was like, they're fucking awesome, right? Like,
They support local.
They
That's
support
their thing.
local.
Like he kept telling us.
All the things that we kind of align with, right? Like, and that's so cool to hear. Because in Massachusetts, we hear it all the time, breweries helping out other breweries, we're out of grain or out of Sabro hops and someone hopping in the car. And I'm sure that's the same for Connecticut.
But then to hear like a brewery supporting just local
coffee shop,
businesses.
local
Like he
businesses.
stores his beans here, apparently. Like that's awesome. Like that's, I love hearing that stuff.
It's huge. I mean, you got to support, those are the people that are going to be coming in here.
Right.
So you support them. I mean, usually, like I said, a lot of things changed with COVID. We used to have the menus.
Of course.
So we'd have menu books and you could order food and they'd bring it right in here.
Yeah.
We're getting back to that. Like now on Saturday nights, we're offering 10% off your tab here if you bring a receipt from any of the Norwich restaurants.
Sweet.
Or you can bring the food in and eat here and have your beer. But
Yeah.
if you have a receipt from a Norwich restaurant, we'll give you 10% off here at the brewery to try to get people back into, hitting the different places and supporting everybody in downtown.
Yeah, that's incredible. Where did you get this sense of community? I mean, like, no, seriously, like, that's not something that's just like, I'm going to do this for like the clout to be like, where people don't, you're doing it,
You're doing it to look cool, right?
Yeah.
No, and it wasn't, you just do it. I mean, you should do that.
Yeah.
You should support other people that are supporting you.
Yeah.
Because the only reason why you'll succeed is by the support of them. They're bringing people in. They're telling about your place. You should do the same thing. That's why I say I'm like, the food around here is amazing. It's usually if I am down here, it's like, all right, where we're going to eat tonight.
Yeah.
I'm very curious. When you drive up to your building, and this is no offense to you, we did not think the place was this big, right?
Yeah.
Most people say
when
that.
you have 5 business partners and you all drive to see the place, like, what was your first response to seeing the outside facade of the building? Were you like, this is home? Or were you like, what the hell am I getting into?
I probably said that to Jane.
Yeah, right.
If I had to remember back then. But then walking in and seeing that it was kind of the inside of the door. And like I said, it's like a speakeasy feel to me, which I love speakeasy.
I totally felt like I had to give a secret code.
Yeah,
Like,
so when you walk
Yeah.
in, I mean, we kind of keep the signs small. And then like when you walk in and you're like, holy crap, it's huge in here.
Yeah.
Literally the
Yeah,
reaction we had. Like,
Yeah,
I was like,
no, like-
wow, it's really big in here. Like, this is
And
nice.
it doesn't look like it from
No,
outside.
not at all.
No, not at all.
At all. So I like that feel because it gives the shock. And I love seeing people walk down that ramp and then be like, holy crap, it's a lot bigger in here than I expected.
It was like Disney World for me. but better. So I'm curious about the build out and what it looked like when you were building out. But we have to go to a word from our sponsors. I know you want to tell us and I want to hear so bad. So Brian, sponsors, quick.
Take it away. Did you know that your favorite Massachusetts breweries use hops from a local family-owned hop farm right here in Massachusetts?
Our friends over at 4 Star Farms are there for you whether you're a commercial brewery or a small batch home brewer.
Make sure to head over to their website today and get your hands on some of the best and freshest hops available locally. Cheers.
At our local homebrew shop, Beer and Wine Hobby, you can get everything you need to make beer, wine, cider, cheese, and more. Not sure where to start? They have knowledgeable staff there to help. Beer and Wine Hobby is family-owned and located in Danvers, Massachusetts. Visit their website, beer-wine.com, and use our promo code BREWROOTS for 10% off your online order today.
Shirts on Tap is the box subscription service for craft beer lovers. Each month, Shirts on Tap partners up with 7 different breweries from across the country and collaborates on a sweet custom shirt design. We've been teamed up with Shirts on Tap since the inception of the podcast and are proud to announce a new promo code for all of our listeners. To get your first shirt for $5 off, go to the link in our description below and use the promo code. And remember, drink better beer, wear better shirts. Our listeners might not know that we actually pause in between and we take potty breaks and all that stuff. And those are meant for 5-minute cool downs, maybe fill up on a beer.
Sure.
I went to the restroom. I'm not going to say what happened, obviously, right? That's inappropriate.
Totes inappropriate.
But I was washing my hands as everyone should do.
Wash your hands.
I hate restaurants that say all employees must wash hands. No, it should just say everyone should wash their hands. But
Yes.
but I'm not going to
Besides the
we're not
point.
getting into that, right? There's a sign in Epicure's bathroom that says, there once was a sign here. It was the best sign that ever was. It's been bad to the bone since the day it was born. Tell me about the sign. Was it missing? Then we're going to get into everything else.
So me and my husband came in here one day, and I was cleaning the bathroom because it was the standing room only. I now know which bathroom he used.
Yeah.
So it's the
Now we know. Yeah, thanks.
It's the standing room only bathroom. So I only go in there when I need to actually clean the bathrooms. And I'm like, hey, where's the sign? Because all there was the hook. So I figured maybe it dropped, broke, whatever.
Yeah.
So I asked the other owners, I'm like, hey, has anybody seen the sign in the standing room only? And Ken goes, oh, it's been missing for a bit. And we're like, what? So somebody stole the sign?
What did the sign say?
Beer, 5 cents, apparently.
You have so much other cool shit here to steal. Not that I'm saying, but
They stole our cactuses too in the
that's
bathroom.
stupid.
What, the cactus?
Yes, I'm like, really?
A sign, a cactus?
Yeah, I'm like, what is going on?
Oh my God. I don't condone
Yeah,
stealing,
living
right?
room
But
use is sprucing up.
that would have been the last thing that if I was a stealer, I wouldn't have
A
stolen.
stealer?
Well, my question is, because the sign was actually fairly big, on how they got out of our place.
Oh, it's almost.
without us seeing
Yeah,
it.
it's
So
almost
I'm
like a fool
that's
me once,
weird.
shame on. Yeah.
Who was working?
And then I was like, I wish we could have gone back into the cameras and
Right,
saw who
right.
actually took the sign.
Seriously.
So I'm like, how did you get that out of here without any of us knowing?
All right. So if one of our listeners stole the sign, we don't
Bring it back.
unfollow us, but bring the sign back, and we don't want to be associated with you. But bring the sign
rude.
back, right, Ryan?
Yes.
Thank you. Ryan's the voice of reason. All right. So, what was this space before? Do you know? What was the
Yes,
history?
so this actually was the Norwich Bulletin's printing presses.
Okay, cool. So,
So-
that's the high ceilings.
High
Makes
ceilings, and
sense.
actually the 3 pipes that are right there are
Yep.
still full with ink because they took down one of them and it was chocked full of the ink, and we just left it because that was going to make a mess.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's
And if you actually
ridiculous.
look on the floors over there by the jukebox, you'll see yellow spots, and you'll see red spots from the actual printing presses
Interesting.
that got left over. It's been fun because we've had some of the guys that actually ran the printing presses come back in.
Yeah.
And they're like, holy cow, this is so different. And I'm like, it's way better. You're drinking beer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're not risking your life.
yeah, you're not in a printing press.
Yeah.
So it was the printing press for, I don't know how many years, but a
Long
long
time.
time. This is where
Yeah.
Norwich Bulletin actually did all their stuff.
So looking around, obviously added a wall around here and
Yes.
so on and so forth. How much modification did you have to do to add a brewery
This
to a
was-
pre-existing space?
Actually, all empty.
Okay.
So it was, which
But
was
adding drains, right? You had to do all
and
of it.
we had to add the drains. My father, thankfully, was in construction, so he had a lot of the jackhammers and
Nice.
stuff, so we didn't need to go rent them. And then my sister's boyfriend, he's also owns a construction company, so we had the help with that.
Amazing.
And then one of our good friends, Phil, he actually did a lot of the, not the bar, but all the back end
Oh, cool.
of the stuff. And then our friend Nick Garoshin, he actually did all the framing of everything. And then Phil came in and did the cosmetic stuff.
Nice.
But otherwise, it was a lot of weekends of pulling down. Back there was wood paneling.
Oh, fun. Fun.
Yeah.
And then it came down and we saw the brick wall and I'm like, that's perfect.
Perfect,
I'm
yeah.
like, that's awesome. But yeah, the paneling had to go. So there was a lot of that coming out of there. But otherwise it was pretty open. It was just creating the cold room, obviously for TTV, and then the bar. The beam that is our actual bar is from Wright's Mill
Oh, very nice.
Farm. It burned down, like a year prior to us opening, or 2 years. It was a reception hall. It's actually next door to our house, me and my husband.
Oh, nice.
And we're really good friends with them. So these were the beams that actually were on the building to hold it up. And when they took it down, the owner, Kurt, actually gave us a set of the beams because he thought it would be cool for the bar. So we brought a little bit of Canterbury's where I live with my husband. So we brought a little Canterbury down to Norwich. There's a actual plaque over there. So again, it's a lot of friends, and back to the whole supporting everybody.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from. They all supported us, jumped in, like Phil and Nick are good friends.
Yeah.
And then Kurt. So there's a lot of, you help friends out, and I feel like a lot of the businesses in Norwich.
Sounds like your muggers, right? You've helped
My
out the community,
muggers, yeah.
and
They help us out.
Yeah. Who came up with the name the Muggers? Do you have a name, or do you have an individual?
No, it's the Mug Club, and then they're an awesome group. They started calling themselves the Muggers.
Yeah.
And so now we've kind of run with it. I'm like, I should really get you guys shirts that say that.
Yeah.
Right?
But I'm like, I really don't think you should be running around town.
Mugger.
called the Muggers.
Yeah. But would a mugger run around with a shirt named the Mugger?
I think that's what I was
yeah.
kind of thinking.
Yeah.
They may.
Yeah. Pictures on the back wall on the brick.
So we change those out every couple of months. Jeff from Ideal Skate Shop, he is actually our art person. So he brings in artists every couple of months. Norwich has a First Friday that is for strolling the different art galleries down here. And we actually change out the art. So our only thing with having art on our walls is that there has to be prices on them, because we want those artists to be able to sell their work, and it basically gives them a free studio for a couple of months, and it puts something new on our wall. So we've had, last time it was a 18-year-old girl that did dog portraits, which were really, really cool. I ended up getting one done. I got some done for my friends. My friends got some. It was really cool, and she was super excited.
Nice.
I needed a good Christmas present.
Yeah, right?
Oh, crap.
Write that one.
That's really good.
So yeah, we change them out. And we did one time, actually, Ideal Skateboards. They came in with all their skateboards. There's some up there now, but all the walls were full with skateboards, which was wild.
That is
Yeah.
wild.
I see a couple skateboards with your logo on
Yes.
it. That's so cool. I wish the Brewers logo had a
Skateboard.
A skateboard.
You got to talk to Ideal.
I know. We can make one.
Ryan, you think you would skateboard if we got a...
No.
I'd want to see you drop. Our listeners might pay some money to watch you drop in from a half pipe.
Ooh.
You're talking about revenue. That would be a good one.
Yeah, you have a point.
Yeah. So more importantly, we want to talk about the beer that you have on tap here. I mean, not more important than Ryan skateboarding, but
Right.
yeah.
We have many varieties to hopefully hit everybody's palate.
Yep.
We usually always have the blonde on.
Okay. Is that a flagship, you would say?
I would go with it. It's a flagship. It's called Stay Pretty. Stay Pretty has definitely gotten a name of its own now. I will show you the cans and explain James, who's our Stay Pretty person. And then we also do sour. We have a cherry and we have a cranberry. So we have the bogger, which is really great. I like to mix it with the prices. We do a lot of mixing here.
Cool.
Nice.
So I will take the bogger and mix it with the Stay Pretty, the Price is Rice, or when we have Cash Rules out, which is our cream ale, and we do that. And
So awesome. You're literally
That's great.
speaking to me all the
I
beers
love
that I
it.
like. Yeah, that's amazing. A cream ale. Come on.
And then mix it.
Yes, then
Fun.
we mix it.
That's fun.
We also always have our stout on, which is Lightning Struck Twice. And we have Good Old Tom, which is the New England IPA. Damn Yankee is our IPA. I call him the sneaky little guy because it seems like nobody thinks he's 6.8. And then they drink a few and they're like, wow.
That is.
I'm like, you just got Damn Yankee.
Yep.
And then our newest beer is Going Commando, which is our salted caramel porter, which we ended up doing for the Silkies hike that happens in Norwich every September.
Yeah. So
Tell us about that.
Heard about the Silky
Yeah.
hike through the coffee roasters.
Yes, so every September they do this walk through Norwich to raise awareness for veteran suicide. Everybody that is walking in the walk is either a veteran or active military. Nobody else can walk with them. And they just walk through. They usually start on close to the highway in Norwich, walk through Norwich, hit a couple of spots. We are one of them. And we do a black ale project, which I'm sure you've
Yeah.
heard
Yeah, of course, yeah.
That connects you with a veteran organization in your area. We do the Purple Hearts of
Yeah.
Connecticut, so that's who we do our donation to. And basically, they'll show up and, it's an amazing site. So if you're around, keep an eye out for when they do it in September. They've been doing it for the last couple of years.
And they're one of those charitable organizations that actually
Yes.
donates fully.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we'll do, up to that event, we do a lot of fundraisers here. They'll come in and do fundraisers to raise money to get water and stuff for the walkers.
Wow.
And other supplies. So they'll come in here and we'll do fundraisers.
Do you do anything selfish? I'm just curious. No, I'm just kidding. Like, seriously, that's amazing. I mean, it's cool.
And then, obviously, as you can see, we big military. A lot of the sailors down in Groton, which became Mug Club members, would come up here and hang out. They were actually had houses up here that they were staying at. And that's one of my favorite stories because they had the most intense Uno game I've ever seen in my life in here. Like one of the first years we were open. And they like flung the chairs back, yelling Uno at each
Oh my
other.
goodness.
And I'm like, I'm about to break them up. And then they just start laughing having their beer. So we've really kind of like adopted them, and everybody's kind of adopted us, where they bring in different military hats, patches, coins, which
Now,
we are so over the top about.
Any of the owners ex-military? Or,
No, none of us
former?
are, but all of us have family members. So my husband, his dad was Navy.
Yep.
My grandfather was World War II Army.
Yep.
My uncle was Marines, Vietnam. Carrie's dad was also military. And
So a lot of ties to the
a lot of ties to the military. And it's great to support them. They fight for us. So
Absolutely. I'll drink to that. This space, I still can't get over it. Like, I'm looking around and you must have just come in and just seen opportunity, right? Like,
there's lots of stuff we added. So the motorcycle that's hanging from the ceiling, that came about because we were thinking of putting like a Marilyn Monroe when she's over the
Event.
gate
Yeah,
and
yeah.
have her like a full printout and have her skirt blowing up. Instead, one of Ken's friends said, "Hey, I have this motorcycle, a Sunbeam. Maybe you guys can hang it from there." So it actually runs if we wanted to. It leaks a little oil, so there's cardboard up there.
Yep.
But it actually runs. And he's like, "What about putting a motorcycle hanging from the ceiling?" I'm like, "Well, that will be interesting."
yeah.
So that's what they did.
Yeah.
All right.
So Ken's your head brewer.
Yes.
Where is his style more of these like traditional creamy ales, the blonde ales, or I
Yes,
looked
very
over.
traditional.
Yeah.
Obviously, it took us a while to do the New England IPA because none of us are really into that style.
We aren't either, so don't worry.
Yeah, so it took us a while. The good old Tom was named after our first Mug Club member, Tom Sanuda. So he loves New England IPAs. So he kept bugging
Right.
Ken.
to like, "Hey, can you do one? Can you do one? Can you do one?" Finally, Ken did one. So now we have one, and he loves it. It's named after him. And so we do have that one. But a lot of, yes, very traditional style. Little Coat's a double IPA, big beer. And I actually like doubles. I'm not an IPA person, but I like a double IPA because they get sweeter. They're not the bitterness that I like. Like Damn Yankee, I'll make a face with. But Little Coat, I drink. It's just a little bit of it.
So I'm kind of curious. I know. Tell me about the Pink Boots chapter.
Pink Boots chapter.
Yeah.
So me and Alicia took that over probably 3 years ago. It might have been right when I started. So there was really nobody running the Connecticut chapter.
Mm-hmm.
And Alicia had sent out my name to the Pink Boots place. And I said, all right, I'll give them a call and I'll see if I can be the chapter chair. And then she called and she's like, what about us doing co-chair? I'm like, perfect, because I just adding one.
I work 14 jobs.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't need to
Exactly.
add something else. So we ended up doing that, and we honestly got Connecticut bigger because there was not many, and I think they're up to 30-something. Then in January, both me and Alicia are like, well, it's time to kind of hand it over to somebody new, a new face to it, bring some more excitement to it. So we handed it over to Mariah down at Outer Light, who's the taproom manager, and then Abby from Still Hill, who's in Connecticut, not Rocky Hill. Yeah, it is Rocky Hill. And we handed it over to them, and then COVID happened. And they're like, you guys just handed us this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, we're not leaving. Don't worry. We'll coach you with whatever you need. Just like bounce stuff off. And the girls have been great. They've taken off. They've gotten recognition for the Connecticut chapter.
That's awesome.
We've actually been able to offer our own scholarships to some of the girls in Connecticut. And I'm like, a small state. I'm like, we're making the big loud noise. And we actually got to do the hop rub last year.
Awesome.
And we were one of the only, probably one of the closest only chapters, because we had hop culture where we actually could do because it was outside. We could do the rubbing. They had all the space for us.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. So it's gone big, and it's great. It's great to be a part of that.
Do you brew Pink Boots beer every year?
I do. So I have Boots and Hose, which is a Kolsch.
Yeah. Oh, I love Kolsch.
So we usually, because the hops lend themselves to a New England IPA.
So do you use the hops?
I do.
You do. Okay, cool.
And I told the brewer.
Not all breweries.
I know. Well, I told the
Yeah.
brewer, we buy them and we can make other beers with them,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah.
And I said to the brewer this time, I'm like, I want a Kolsch. I do not, because we've done New England the last couple of times.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope.
Everyone does in New England.
Right.
Right. It's
No,
like a
I'm
New
doing
England
Kolsch.
with hibiscus
Yeah.
always.
I'm like doing a Kolsch. I'm putting my foot down. We're doing a Kolsch.
Yes.
And it's awesome. It's
Yeah.
awesome. I'll give you guys some, because we don't have it on tap anymore. I just got a couple of cans left.
Yeah.
Cool. I can't wait.
That's awesome.
Do you find that the Connecticut beer community, I mean, you've been around to like all of these other throughout the world. What is the Connecticut beer world known as right now?
Oh, goodness gracious. I don't know. I think we all have our own style, and, our different places. You have some of the farm breweries. You have some of the breweries that have just, takeout. Everybody's, totally different.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Area 2, which is Two Roads, that is completely sours.
Yep.
And then you have the regular Two Roads that has a variety. And you guys obviously went to some today, and they have variety, and they're totally different than our place.
Yeah.
So I think everybody kind of has their own thing, but everybody wants to help each other. And kind of like what you were saying about, dropping grains. The Connecticut Brewers Guild has an actual page where people can say, hey, I need this. I'm going to get the order next week. Can anybody spot me? That stuff. And it's just a great community. Kind of like I said, I deal with accounting, and there's many businesses I deal with, from farms, nurseries, retail shops, restaurants, bars.
Yep.
This is probably the industry that I see that they actually want to help each other.
Yeah.
And,
For sure.
don't kind of step on each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. So I'm always curious, anytime we venture into a new state, we've kind of gotten other breweries' opinions on local laws and regulations. And I'm sure you have your own opinions. And we're just going to have to wait to hear about them after this short break. Take it away, Ryan.
Are you a solo artist, band, podcaster, or anyone else who needs recording services?
Well, we got a place for you where your vision can become a reality.
Welcome to Small Pond Studios, built by hand with heart and sweat equity by musicians for musicians.
Go to smallpondstudios.io to reach out to get more information. And make sure you let them know that Brute sent you. Hey, Sound Guy Ryan here. Didn't know if you heard, but we're a part of the Hopped Up Network. There you'll find other informative podcasts about beer. So go ahead, follow them on social media, and visit them on their website, hoppedupnetwork.com, to learn more about the people, beer, and breweries from around the country. And until next time, thanks for listening. Cheers.
So we were talking on the break about rules and regulations within the state. We're pretty lucky in Massachusetts. I think we have some pretty cool laws. We heard of one today that I think Massachusetts should absolutely adopt, is the being able to serve liquor and cider within the same state that it's produced in at local places. I don't. Do you guys do that?
So it's funny that you say that. We just got our permit
Oh, congratulations!
yesterday.
Congratulations! Yeah.
We did the wine and cider. Now, that might actually have the liquor in it too. So Connecticut changed all their laws when you were going to renew your permit.
Yep.
With COVID, they delayed ours 6 months, I think. So
Classic.
yeah, so it was going to be December, and we ended up starting to do seltzers, hard seltzer, because our manufacturing permit would allow us to do anything that we actually produce.
Okay.
So we could serve that and be fine. So we ended up doing the seltzers because I actually have Mug Club members that are gluten.
Okay.
So
okay.
I knew the cider was getting pulled and we had to reapply.
Yeah.
I needed something
you need
for
to
them.
adjust, yeah.
So we started doing the hard seltzers. So we still haven't figured out which flavor is going to be like the permanent flavor. So they rotate out like every weekend.
Yeah.
Different ones. Watermelon and peach are on this weekend.
Oh, shoot.
So we ended up just got the permit. My husband got the okay. So this weekend we actually get to do our cider. I have a cider being delivered from Stafford Cider.
Yep.
And we do wine from Preston Ridge. And they actually applied. One good thing is, so the wineries could apply for this permit also,
nice.
so they can serve beer.
Amazing.
Which Preston Ridge is excited about because she
Yeah.
always wanted us to be able to bring beer up there. And I'm like, I can't. My liquor permit doesn't go out
I
of
can't
this
do that.
area.
Yeah.
I know we have Mass Brewers Guild members who listen to the podcast, so take notes on this. This is something that I think would help more for our industry in Massachusetts
Yeah.
because people like my girlfriend who like wine and like cider, and when we go to a brewery, it's like you
like
can
stuff.
drink a beer, but it's like, yeah, it's,
And
Not as enjoyable.
That was our whole thing because not everybody. My mom is a perfect example. My mom doesn't drink beer. I own a brewery. She
Yeah.
comes in here. She does not drink beer.
that's so funny.
She drinks. She has a mug and
Yeah.
she drinks cider,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
seltzers now,
Yeah.
or she'd have a glass of wine. And our thing was, so if you come in with a group of people and the person isn't into beer, they're going to want to leave. They're
Yeah.
not going to have
Right.
a good time. But
Right.
if they actually can have a cider that they'll
Love. Yeah.
love
Yeah.
or a wine, they're going to stick around and hang out with everybody
And the
else.
whole group
also.
is happy,
And
and
the
they're
whole
gonna stay
group is-
longer, right?
Exactly.
It's a
And they're going to
whole-
make it
yeah.
more of a, we've always wanted it, like I was saying in the beginning, kind of like an extension of your living room. We want you to hang out, play board games, we have them, and just chill.
And it also just
Yeah.
is awesome that if it has to be made in Connecticut, it's not like you're selling like Sutton Hill wine, right? It's
Nope.
not like you're
You're not
going
selling
to,
something from California,
Right.
or whatever. You're still supporting the Connecticut economy.
Yes.
yeah, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And we've always done any of the local wines. We did Jonathan Edwards in the beginning, and then we got friendly with Preston Ridge, and they're 10 minutes away.
Why not?
So
Right.
we ended up bringing them in, and now they have our beer at their place, which is awesome.
That is awesome.
Are there any rules you'd like to see changed or improved upon?
I wish they hadn't done the change how they did it. So
Okay.
prior to this, we had a full license where we could do liquor, everything. Like
And they took it away, or they just?
yes. Oh, they took it away.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, I was a little confused because you were like, we did have seltzer, we did have cider,
Yes,
so they
but then
just were like, we
took
hate
it
you.
away- They took it away, and you basically had to apply for different options. So prior, I had like what they called the super license, and so I could do the beer. So I had a manufacturing license, but then I also had the super license, which gave me to do literally liquor. I was a full bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And wine. It didn't have to be Connecticut. And none of the liquor had
You
to
had
be
this- yeah,
Connecticut.
you had
I
the best of the best.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then they decided to write into the law, which was not how it was supposed to be written, but they did, that now we could do the manufacturing where we get to serve anything that we actually make. Then we could add the Connecticut craft license, which then would bring in the wine, the
Liquor.
cider, and all of that. Then you can do the super license. So you had people, like basically we had to go back and redo a whole permit.
That
My husband was
sucks.
running around getting signatures again
How long have you not had a permit like that for?
for, so it was December. I think it was December it was up. So we stopped.
So
in
almost a
December.
year.
Almost a year.
Wow.
And we just never like pushed it. And then
Right.
I was like, you know what, we really need to get this back. So
Yeah.
let's.
Especially with things opening back up.
Well, and then you got to, like I said, you have to go apply for everything. So it was doing the whole permit. And then the person, I guess, called my husband. He's like, she goes, why are you applying for this?
You already
He
have
goes,
it.
Because you took it away.
Yeah, right.
Oh my god.
I want to get it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
God.
god.
So I'd like to have it back. And like I said, there was
Awful.
people that actually bought mugs because we had cider. So
Right.
their friends were beer drinkers.
Right. But they'd come and drink with
They
their
would
friends.
come and drink with their friends. They
Yeah.
wanted the
Yeah.
mug. So I was like, we really need to get cider. And the girl that does our artwork, Kristen, she actually is one of our muggers that she's gluten. She only drinks cider.
Right.
Yeah.
So I ended up calling her this week 'cause
Terrible.
yesterday when he got the permit from the state of Connecticut. I'm like, all right, I'm ordering cider. I'll check the wine when I go down. And I called her. I'm like, hey, what do you want? I'm like, I got a choice of a blackberry or a blueberry. What would you like to see? She's like, blackberry. I'm like, all right, I guess blackberry's on.
Yeah.
All right.
I love it.
Perfect.
I love it.
That's great.
Obviously, coming through COVID, you guys are still here,
Yes.
right? So
Congrats.
congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Are you able to kind of take a step back? Obviously, things aren't back to normal, but are you kind of able to take a step back and be like, yeah, if we can get through that, we can probably get through anything?
Yes. I would absolutely say that. 2020 was...
It sucked. You can say it.
It sucked.
It was rough.
The silver lining I can say is it taught us how we could still run the business, and not in the way that our business, like we
Not
had
in
a
the way it was
business
supposed to
plan.
be, right?
Yeah, like we had a business plan. This is how we're going to do it, and that all went out the door that year.
Yeah.
It was all right. How are we going to do this? Now we got to change gears, and like I had said prior, we had to lay off our employees, and thankfully we have enough owners to cover the shifts, and we obviously canceled because nobody could come in. We canceled a lot of our hours to do a couple of days. And I mean, there was many times where I was hanging out here with my husband. We'd be sitting here and, waiting to see, because people weren't going out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like I said, it was the mug club. I owe them everything because they would come in, they would buy their beer for the week because they couldn't get in their mug. I'd tell them I'm keeping an eye on them. I can't wait to serve those mugs. But it just taught you how to go outside the box. We did online ordering, which we had never done.
Yeah.
Which that was a huge success. We waited for the mug club. So our anniversary is in June, and that's when our mug club is usually up for renewal.
Yeah.
They're not a lifetime. And we ended up waiting till July when we actually got to be open. And I think we extended it. They had till July to renew and everything. We were kind of lenient on it because they hadn't been able to drink out of their mugs. We did give them some beer mug. So they had a couple of beers on us when they got back. And they're like, you didn't have to do that. I'm like, well, you
kept us afloat, yeah.
I was like, you didn't ask to have your mugs taken away.
Yeah.
Right. That's great.
Where do you, I mean, obviously plans got delayed, right? But where do you see yourself, and have you been able to make up some ground from your delays?
It's still slow. I feel like people, when you do a year of curfews and stuff like that, people get used to it.
Totally.
And it's hard to get them out of that to say, all right, let's go out, when you got so used to being at home, because in Connecticut, it was 9 o'clock. You had to be out of places.
Yeah, so a lot of the places still, and like I remember
Yeah.
being like, I'm hungry at 9 and nothing's open. It's
It's like I get out of work a lot of times, and I'm like,
Exactly.
why is
Right,
that? And like
right.
8:30, me and my husband would be going to dinner at
Right.
9.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh crap, we actually have to get food for
What's
the
in
house.
the fridge right
Yeah.
now? Nothing.
Because
Oh.
it wasn't our mindset.
Yeah.
Right.
Were you canning before COVID?
Yes, we were.
Do you can on site?
We bring Iron Heart in.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
So we actually, Price is Rice, which
course.
obviously last year was the first year we did it with the collaboration with Black Pond. We had full tanks of Price is Rice, and then they shut us down. And full tanks of My Pink Boots beer.
Oh.
So all of that went into canning because we had done the canning the year before, so we had just started getting into it.
Yep.
So it was like, well, they're not doing any good there. We can't serve them behind the bar, so we just ended up canning everything.
Yeah.
Which,
Such a pivot.
and that's why I said, I'm like, you learn how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like,
At least you didn't dump it. We know of so many breweries that like, unfortunately, they couldn't get a mobile canner and or just didn't even have it in the plan. So it's like,
Yeah.
it was dumped or growler poured. It's like, it's sad, right?
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
I mean, but you do what you, I mean, I think them doing the growler, at least you're getting it out the door.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, but yeah, thankfully we had already started with Ironheart and
Had that
like I said,
relationship,
Had
yeah.
that relationship, and as soon as we knew it didn't look like it was just going to be 2 weeks,
Yep.
we're like, get the canning line in here at some point.
Oh, 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
So I'm like, you better get that in here and let's go.
Definitely.
Ironheart must have had the busiest 2020 and 2021.
And they're still busy.
Still, for sure.
Because
sure.
we have to call probably a month or so ahead of time
Yeah.
to get in. And it gives us the lead time. A lot of times it's 2 months that my husband's planning it because you got to call them and we got to get the beer brewed. We got to get the labels. You got to get those approved. So there's a whole process.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you find yourself wanting a canning line here? Do you have the
My
space for it?
husband does want to get
course.
that is one of his goals.
Capital purchase. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So someday I'm sure we will have one. It's nice with Ironheart because they're the ones that
They
take
do
care of
it
it.
all.
And literally
They know what they're
one line when they were here one day, a part went and they just called another canning line that was in the area and when it got it, where otherwise we would have been waiting. We would have been shut down for that
Yeah.
whole day and not been able to can.
Yeah.
So there's
Pros and cons.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they run it every single day.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get a small one so that we could do small batches, maybe some of the pilot batches
Yep.
instead of the big ones.
Any distribution?
Yes, we do distribution right here in the Northeast. Otherwise, outside of that.
Northeast Connecticut.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want our listeners to.
Yes,
Yeah.
Northeast
Yes.
Connecticut.
Yeah.
We use Levine. So any Levine territory, it's theirs. Otherwise, outside of it, we self-distribute.
Yeah.
Because Connecticut
Cool.
allows you to do that.
Awesome.
So obviously, if our listeners are outside of the Northeast area of Connecticut and want to make an awesome trip down to this area that I think we've, safe to say, I don't want to speak for Eric or Ryan, kind of fallen in love with today.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Sorry, I was trying not to sneeze.
You can sneeze. Bless you. Bless you. Where are you physically located?
40 Franklin Street,
In
Norwich, Connecticut.
Norwich, Connecticut, which doesn't have a college that I was thinking of.
No.
Yes.
No.
Cool. Erica, Ryan, you have any questions?
Yeah. So, what would you like to learn more about?
More of the database, kind of customer feedback. I think that's kind of my next goal is I'd really be interested in kind of it being anonymous.
Outside of Untapped.
Yes, definitely.
Wait, we got it. We did it. We opened the door. All right, we're going back to it. You have to tell us, why do you hate Untapped? That's a loaded question right there.
It is a loaded question. I've seen Untapped. I really enjoy the Untapped that does the spoofs where people are
We
saying
love that as well.
Untapped WTF. Yeah.
I can't stand this beer. I don't like stouts, but it's a stout. Well,
1%. Yeah, one
don't
star.
drink that.
I know.
You're not gonna like it. I would just kind of like the feedback where people. Sometimes I feel like they don't give you the honest feedback
Yep.
when they're in front of you.
Definitely.
Definitely.
So I'd kind of like the anonymous one of what they would like to see more of, maybe different beers or what we could do differently in here. I just think customer feedback's always important, and I'd like to get more into that. If I gotta say one thing that, I know the bookend of stuff and the numbers and, doing tax returns and sales tax returns and excise tax, all this stuff that you don't realize you need to do.
Right.
Owning a brewery. So I know those parts. I just think I'd like the customer feedback more anonymous. Mm-hmm. And kind of, like I said, I kind of take the Untapped and I do the average.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I kind of decide, kind of like the same thing I do with Yelp.
Yeah.
If I'm going to a restaurant, I'm like, this one's bad, this one's good.
Yeah.
It's like the middle one.
Yeah.
Do you solicit feedback from the muggers?
The bunkers will actually tell us what they like, don't like.
Good.
And they're a very honest group, which I love to death.
Is that just because you've built that rapport?
Probably. A lot of them have become family, honest to God. When they have tragedy in their life, it hurts us.
Yeah, for sure.
And when they have excitement, babies, we've had a couple, or when they leave, we have a couple, and we actually have Mug Club members that do not live in the state of Connecticut.
Wow.
So I have two of them that are in Texas. She actually came back on Sunday. She used to be one of our bartenders, so she came back Sunday.
Wow.
To see come to the place.
I kind of got goosebumps, with you saying that. Yeah.
It's wild. And she was sitting in here, she's like, I miss this place. She's like, Texas doesn't have something like this.
Yeah.
And we had some other muggers that moved to Florida. and they just had a baby, which is awesome.
Cool.
And then we also have a mugger that lives in South Carolina.
Yeah.
So I have mugger, and they come back.
Be the
They
good
actually-
mugger, not the bad mugger.
Yeah, don't worry about being a good mugger. They're all good muggers.
Yeah. That's awesome. I think that's something we also struggle with, is getting that honest feedback. Everyone tells you your stuff's awesome when you're right in front of you. And
Yes.
I wish I could be on the wall when they're saying this thing sucks or something, like, yeah.
And nobody wants to hurt anybody's feelings. So I don't think they're doing it to like not tell you.
Yeah, of
And I just kind of would like them, like I would just like to know, because you end up hearing, and like I said, the mug club member they're pretty honest. If they don't like a beer, they let us know. But
Yeah.
Right.
the regular customers that are coming in, what could we do different? Was there something or anything like that?
Yeah.
Because you can always learn, and that's one big thing. You always can learn and how to make it better.
Right. Definitely.
I don't think there's a better way to end
No.
the podcast.
Perfect.
So, Joe, thank you for taking the time out of your day to do this.
You're welcome.
She came
like
after
I'm a dad.
work,
Yeah. It's great.
and she's probably going to go back to work after
She's
this.
going back to
Yeah.
work now, which is awesome. So thank you so much.
She's probably thinking, oh, see, we gave her a little break,
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Good excuse to have a beer.
Yeah, good excuse, exactly. Yeah. So all our listeners, please come down to the Northeast Quadrant. What is wrong with me? Northeast
I don't know.
portion of Connecticut. We had an awesome time. Super awesome people down here.
Definitely.
And Connecticut's not all pizza, as I once thought.
It's more to Connecticut.
There's more than Connecticut than Hartford pizza.
Yes.
But that pizza is good.
It's great, as so I've heard.
I've been talking about it all day.
You have.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.